Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the 5 Minute Reedmaker. I wanted to talk to you today about the coronavirus and about sanitizing oboe reeds in general. And I'm going to talk about what I do as a professional reedmaker, as an oboist, and as a teacher, because I think those are three different aspects of the game. As a professional reedmaker, I do feel a significant responsibility to not be a vector for this current public health crisis, right? Currently, there are only a few cases in South Bend. No one in my household is ill, and I'm not particularly worried about this virus as a human. I'm not in a high-risk demographic, but there's a larger public health component here, and I do not want to be a part of that at all. So what I'm doing now, on the advice of my actual medical doctor, who I saw earlier this week, is I am wiping my surfaces down really carefully with Clorox wipes before I start to work on reeds to send. And when I've got the reed finished and I've finished playing it in my mouth, I'm dipping it in 91% alcohol, because my doctor assures me that anything over 60% is safe. The Listerine in my medicine cabinet is not strong enough. None of the alcohols in our actual bar downstairs are more than 90 proof, so I'm going with isopropyl alcohol. Spending a few 20 seconds or so with the reeds in that alcohol, rinsing them with fresh water, not the same water that I was dipping reeds in to work on, letting them dry thoroughly, and then mailing them. I'm aware that this is not perfect, because of course my house in which I work is a house, and it is not a surgically sterilized operating room or anything like that. I know that surfaces can hold this virus, but I'm doing the best I can. And it's more than I was doing before, when I was just like a normal amount of clean. If that makes sense. So I'm definitely making an effort to make sure that the reeds that I send out are as sanitized as possible by dipping them in a strong alcohol solution and rinsing and drying them before I mail. So hopefully that is keeping people safe out there in the world. For myself, as a professional oboe player, the reeds I actually play on, I genuinely don't worry about it, right? I have them soaked up in my mouth in my own spit, and then they dry out in the case, and then I soak them up again the next day. Of course, I soak them in actual water. And I play them again. And I've really never had a problem with my own reeds reinfecting me with something that I have had. So it's a thing that I'm not really super troubled by. If I were, I might dip a little peroxide or a little tiny bit of alcohol in the water, but I'm not real concerned about it. It doesn't seem to be, for a person like me with a normal, healthy immune system, doesn't seem to be a thing. But students is another matter, right? Because they're nasty. And I do make reeds for students, and after I hand the reeds to them, they complain, and so I work on the reeds, or I'll work on their reeds in other contexts too. And my own personal rule of thumb is that unless I am completely stumped by what the problem is with a given reed or a given oboe, I just don't play those reeds after I hand them to the student. Because I find that it's not relevant whether I can play the reed. It's only relevant that the reed works for the student in question. So early on, even when they're quite young, I teach them how to beep on the reed with a fair amount of air, and how to crow on the reed, so that I can hear what they're getting and diagnose from that. We talk about putting words on what is the problem with the reed. It's too hard. Well, is it too hard in the response, or is it too hard in the sustain? Does it feel too open or too closed? What's really going on? Can you play it again and exaggerate the thing you don't like about it, so I can really hear what's going on? And so I'll do as much diagnosis as possible without ever actually touching their reed. And then of course I'll just scrape as needed, wiping my knife off on my pant leg afterwards, as a sanitary precaution. Again, my previous tactic was a normal amount of clean. My current tactic involves a little bit more alcohol and a little bit more attention to the issue. So I really hope that this helps. for you to know what to do about the reads that are in your own case, the reads that perhaps you have shared with somebody in the past, any reads that you get in the mail or are concerned about. We have to keep making music no matter how chaotic the world is getting around us. And it feels good to play the oboe and to make music and to improve on things. So, don't stop playing, but be safe, be healthy, and I will see you next time around. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.